Hey everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at the 1976 cult classic that is Logan's Run.
Logan's Run. It begins where imagination ends.
And no, this is not about Wolverine going for a nice jog. We follow a police officer in the 23rd century. Humanity continues on inside of a giant domed city after an unknown crisis. The story of Logan's Run will undoubtedly remind you of other films that have done similar concepts both before and since its release. And yet, there's something undeniably charming and captivating about the world it creates here. This is the future of the 70s, full of unrealistic and dated technology. It reminds me very much of things like the space station at the beginning of Aliens, or even Star Trek. And the visual elements from movies like Passengers feel very reminiscent of this. One of the most compelling elements of the film is that the titular Logan, who serves as our protagonist, actually starts out as a villain. He kills those who do not wish to participate in Carousel, a disorienting carnival ride marked by brilliant special effects which kill all citizens who reach the age of 30. Behind the utopian guise, its citizens live under a dark, twisted society, stagnant and lied to by its computer overlords. Logan's Run, of course, is marred by its own set of problems. A weaker third act involving an out-of-nowhere ice cave and robot man feel out of an entirely different movie. And the old man who quotes the musical Cats was certainly a decision, but one that got a good laugh out of me more than once. But the majority of the movie is genuinely exciting. We spend the first 30 minutes alone just establishing the world and these characters. There's a ton of rules here that need to be told to us as an audience, and the film does a great job of showing these rather than just telling us them. One of the biggest elements in the film is the relationship between Logan and his partner in the police force, Francis. They've got each other's backs whenever one of them makes an error. Even when Logan goes on the run from the Carousel, Francis does what he can to spare Logan, or convince him to give himself in. And yet while Logan slowly discovers and rejects the lie that has been fed to him his entire life, Francis accepts it. Seeing the two come to blows near the climax of the movie is a genuinely moving moment as we witness those two ideologies clash, ultimately with the truth triumphing over deception. Logan's Run is a dated but hopeful affair, one which grabs you by the wrists and drags you with it through its dystopian, distorted world. No scene perhaps better encapsulates the unnatural energy the film gives off better than the brothel scene. Here, Logan and Jessica are on the run from Francis. During their escape, they travel through an area of the dome filled with naked people, mindlessly seeking pleasure both from each other and the unnerving vibrations in the air. They shirk off their own obligations in an attempt to ignore the painful truth they have to face about their world. It's a disorientating section that reminds me very heavily of some bits from 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's a great movie despite the weak ending, and it does run a little long, but Logan's Run is a classic for a reason, and you should go and watch it to find out why.